Hey, what's up guys? So I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is I figured out what has been causing this recent issue where the car is like limping out in neutral. And believe it or not, probably the stupidest thing I've ever done and will ever do. But it was actually too low on gas. I was trying out some wiring stuff and I heard the pump kind of struggling to pick up gas. And I went and threw some more in it, and now it's back to the way it was a few weeks ago, which you can check back in my older videos, where it revs fine in neutral, but when you get on it, like on the road, it'll kind of like bog down, and then when I come back, it's like in like a limp mode, and if I turn the car off and back on, it fixes that, and then it just repeats itself. But update, I went to Formula Drift at Wall Speedway in New Jersey this past weekend, which was absolutely insane. It was amazing. But in the break between top 32 and top 16, I got the chance to hang out in the pits with Rad Dan Burkett, who's, if you don't know, he's huge in the JZ community. He drifts a Supra, and he's amazing. He runs Rad Industries. So I asked him if he might know what's going on with my car, and he like instantly, he was like, mass airflow, check the power going to the mass airflow sensor. The power going to the MAF comes off of the EFI relay, which is just a black and red wire, switch 12 volts. And it's supposed to have the same power at the MAF. So the car's running right now. I checked the power at the ECU and I'm getting like 14.7, 14.8 volts. But when I check it at the mass airflow sensor, I'm only getting like 12.5. So I'm wondering if there's some resistance somewhere, but that could potentially be an issue. So what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to jump power to that pin and take it for a spin, and maybe that might be it. And Rad Dan might have just saved my ass. So I'm gonna get to that and I'll update you guys if that worked. I took it for a spin and it seems like it's still doing it, maybe marginally better. And then I pull it back in the driveway. It's like a limit at 5. If I turn it back on, then there's no problem. So I don't know. What would cause that? What would cause like a 5K cutout, but then when you restart the ECU, then it goes away? It's got to be some sort of limp something, and I just don't know. Another thing I tried was unplugging the 2 knock sensors to see if that had any effect on the way it drove. Maybe it was pulling timing because of fake knock or something, but all it did was throw 2 codes for the knock sensors being unplugged. So next thing I'm going to try, because I pulled, let me back that up a little bit. I pulled all the codes again, and I got the VVTi solenoid code again. So I'm gonna try pulling that apart, try cleaning it maybe, seeing if that has any effect. But yeah, I'm just basically shooting in the dark now. About the OCV, the VVTi solenoid thing, and I took out this banjo bolt right here, which has the filter on the end of it, the screen. I mean, it looks pretty clean, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this all out, and I'm going to clean out the OCV itself, and I'm going to reassemble everything and see if that has any effect. So if I hook up this to 12 volts here, you can see it pops fine. Even if I do it really fast. So that's not the problem there. And also cleaned out the filter, which pretty much had nothing in it, but as you can see now, it is crystal clear. If that was the issue, it's not anymore. I'll put that back together and see if anything changes. So I cranked down all the intercooler piping couplers, and then the car revved perfectly fine all the way up to red line. Best it's felt so far, obviously. Felt great. I came back to grab Ted so he could film it, and when I went out again, I got on it, and then it kind of did the same thing that it was doing before. I think it found another weak link. I bet it blew off one of those little nuts I had holding a plug-in or something. And I'm pretty confident that it's a boost-related issue, because that first run I went out there, it did not have an issue whatsoever. And then on the way back, I kind of felt like a little bit. So tomorrow I'm gonna come here with their daylight. I'm gonna run over the whole engine and I'm gonna check it full over for, I'm gonna double check every connection for any kind of leak. So sorry I didn't film much at all, but I went to make a boost leak tester and my air compressor stopped working, so I don't know what's going on there. But I was like messing around with some more lines and I triple checked everything, and I tightened everything up and it seemed like it sounded pretty decent, so I figured I'd go take it for a ride. But as you can see, it's almost worse than it was before. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Last night it seemed as if the tightening of those couplers really made a difference, because I took it out and it went all the way up to red line on a whole trip, no problem. It felt great. And then now I tightened up even more stuff and I went for a drive and now it's not going past like 4,000 RPM. Like anytime you get into load, it shuts down. So I keep thinking I'm figuring out what it is, and then I like lose faith in that when something doesn't work. So I don't really know where to go from here. Yeah. I mean, I've tried most of the sensors. It doesn't seem to me to be a mass airflow issue. The TPS is brand new. Something is causing it to like limp out, and then like it doesn't reset until you start the car over, and that doesn't really, nothing makes sense that would cause that. Dang. Checking the codes again, and here we are back at that code 59, which I've read online appears to be the VVTi solenoid again. So the only two codes I've been getting consistently are code 47, which is for the sub throttle position sensor, which I'm not using. It's that secondary throttle, and then code 59. God damn. So that's, I mean, maybe that's a thing. I'll have to look into that now, I guess. If you can't tell, I am super frustrated. I've had this car for almost exactly a year now, and for it still not to be driving because of stupid shit like this is absolutely really, really heartbreaking, and I don't know how to fix this shit. I'm gonna look into the VVTi issue, but I mean, I cleaned out the solenoid, works perfectly fine. And what else? Filter's clear. I mean, I can look back into that whole issue we were having with the voltage, which is the reason why I bought the other ECU in the first place. But both ECUs have that same issue on that wire, where it was reading 12 volts or whatever. So I might have screwed that up. I'm not sure. And maybe this code's just coming up because I unplugged the solenoid. That could be a thing too. So I don't. When everything works, it's fantastic. When you're modifying stuff, it works. But when you're hunting down something stupid like this, it's the worst. So if anyone else is in the same boat as me, I feel your pain. This sucks. I'm gonna keep on keeping on, and maybe it'll finally figure itself out. But I'm sure you guys are getting sick and tired of me posting the same old shit where, oh, I think I figured it out. No, never mind. Try again. So I'm sorry about that, but it's all I have right now. So, update. Still don't know why the car's not working. Basically clueless as of right now. But we're going to do some other stuff to lift my spirits. So, I have some 350Z. What? Josh is here. So Josh is over, and he basically yelled at me until I decided to do something productive. So I have these 350Z track edition wheels we're gonna fit, and then while we have the wheels off, we're gonna probably try to mount the Villains dual caliper brackets. I need to get one different caliper for the rear because one of them seized, but we can mock it up and test fit it. So we'll get to that. God damn it. Who took my 14? Ha. No idea what we're doing, but we think this bracket goes here. And then this. We'll try it. let you know how it goes. Yeah, that looks right. So this one attaches, we think, to the upper bolt from the other caliper, and it'll hold one bolt for that caliper that goes here, and then that other tongue goes off the bottom of that, what do you call this, upright? And then this will go kind of like that to hold the other bolt. But this upright here is hitting the head of this bolt, and it's forcing the bracket into the rotor. I mean, we were thinking like we had it on wrong or something, but that's the only way we can see that it goes on, because this is clearly meant to go there. So I think we just have to clearance this a little bit, but I haven't seen any evidence that says we have to do that, so now I'm confused. But we were just mocking it up anyway. I still have to get another caliper and paint it, so I'm probably just gonna take this off. Oh well. Those do look good though. Nice.